Welcome everyone to another edition of the CrossFit Games Update Show. I'm Tommy Marquez alongside Pat Sherwood. Our colleague Sean Woodland is currently recovering from a shoulder surgery, so we wish him the best and hopes he heals up quick. And today we're talking Masters, the men 50 to 60 plus divisions. And Pat, these are some athletes that pretty much every day in training are breaking some new ground.
These old people are bringing the heat, and I'm a master myself. Hopefully I don't offend too many people with that. But back in the day, the Masters were almost a bit of a sideshow, for lack of a better way to say it. They were out in a parking lot, not in the main arena. Every year what they're capable of has increased. At the 2016 Games, every single age division on the men's side of the house had a workout that included ring muscle-ups. A few short years ago, if you said 60 plus will be doing ring muscle-ups, people would have laughed you out of the building. So just watch, these people are incredible.
It's crazy impressive. We're going to kick things off in the 50 to 54 division on the men's side. And here are your standings after the Open. And half of the top 10 are newcomers to this division. Some athletes like Albert Police and Craig Eisman, new to the division, but they were at the Games last year in the 45 to 49 division. Then at the top there, an unfamiliar athlete, Marcel Steckley, came a bit of surprise winning the Open in this division.
I did not expect Marcel. None of us were talking about his name, but he is 100% legit. He's out of the Europe region, CrossFit White Wolf, overall winner of the Open. 17.4 was his best event. Bear in mind that was the repeat, which was 16.4 last year. He got 241 repetitions, which is a full round, and then 21 deads into round two. Bear in mind, this age group does the exact same RX loadings in the whole 9 yards, so his score holds up. It's incredible. He's rocking a 308-pound back squat, a 942 Helen, so hopefully we get to see him at the big show in 2017.
Yeah, hopefully he can parlay that in the Masters qualifier to a Games position in Madison. But taking a look at some other notable athletes in this division in particular, some big names that we've seen before at the Games. Marco Casali, he was second at the Games last year in this division. Jeff Dempsey, a newcomer to this division in particular, but made the Games back in 2012, working his way back from injury. Craig Eisman, a newcomer as well, but also at the Games last year in the 45 to 49 division. And then the person everyone's chasing, Pat, the reigning champ in this division. I think big target is an understatement in
Right.
Ron Ortiz.
Ron Ortiz is just a massive human being and a tremendous athlete. So third place coming out of the Open. He was first place last year. He's been competing as a master all the way since 2012, and he's made it back to the Games every year since then. Most notably 2013, he was the champion in the 45 to 49-year-old division. And then last year, in this division, the 50 to 54, he was the champion, so he's without question the man to beat.
Yeah, hopefully he can back it up once again in this division. But moving on into the Masters 55 to 59 division, and here are your standings after 5 weeks of open competition. Got a handful of recognizable names down there in 10th in a tie, Andy Hendel. He is the father of perennial Games athlete Spencer Hendel. Then some names we're used to seeing in various divisions, Gantz, Parsono, Brig Edwards. But once again, the person winning the Open in this division as well is a little bit of an unfamiliar name. Haven't said his name much, Steven Skocic.
Steven Skocic. And Steven, we hope that we are saying your name properly. Your resume is ridiculous. Anyone watching, I encourage you just to go to Steven's profile on the game site. His list of accolades and achievements in athleticism are through the roof. Track and field, steeplechase, Olympic weightlifting, his credentials are amazing. With all of that, we've never seen him compete at the Games, so I hope this year we can see that happen. Okay, 55 to 59-year-old division. Listen to these stats that he has. A 385-pound back squat, but then he's not just the strong guy, he can also do a 5K in 16 minutes and 30 seconds. So you kind of pair those two together. If his fitness meets in the middle, there's your champion.
Wow, those are some ridiculously
Legit,
impressive numbers.
100% legit.
I guess it explains his performance in the Open thus far. But some other athletes who have set themselves up nicely in the Open going into the Masters qualifier. Some familiar names. You got David Gantz. He's the brick mason from Chicago, one of my favorite athletes. He calls himself the industrial athlete. You've got Steve Parsono, two-time podium athlete in the 50 to 54 division. Brig Edwards, a three-time podium finisher. And then a guy who maybe didn't do as well as expected, still in a good spot though, reigning champ Will Powell.
Will Powell. I'm not quite sure what happened, and the only reason that we say that is Will Powell finished the Open in 23rd in his division, but he was first place last year. And this is a guy who is a three-time champion. He won the 50 to 54-year-old division back in 2013, and he has won this division the last 2 years in a row. I've got no doubt he'll perform just fine in the qualifier, make it back there. And the guy, I mean, he looks like a 25-year-old Greek god. He looks like, half of his age, to say the least. So best of luck to Will making it through the online qual.
I certainly want to look like Will Powell
without
when I
question.
grow up. But last but certainly not least, the men's 60-plus division. And here are the standings after the Open, and most notably, a trio of newcomers to the division, rounding out the top three. Still got some big names behind them, David Hippenstall, Denny Hawkins, but Alan Bridges in third, John Mariotti in second, both new to this division. And then the winner, once again, a newcomer to this division, Hilmar Hardarson.
Hilmar Hardarson, new to this division, but not new to competing. He's a three-time CrossFit Games athlete, winner of the Open right now. He is 60 years young, out of the Europe region, CrossFit sport. He's aged up. Last year at the Games, he took 18th place in the 55 to 59. So historically speaking, it's a wonderful thing to be the young man in the division, so it could play very well for him.
And if he wants to hang on to the top spot, he's going to have to beat out a relative who's who when it comes to this division. You have some athletes like Bob Caslin, Robert Caslin, Rodrigo Dominguez, Denny Hawkins. He's a two-time runner-up in both the 55 to 59 division and the 60-plus division, and then last year's champ. And I'm going to go ahead and say he's got the best hair in the game, David Hippenstall.
Without question. And David Hippenstall is the perfect epitome of what I was talking about at the beginning of the show. He is the champion from the 60-plus division last year at the Games. He's been to the Games 4 times. And recently on the CrossFit Games Instagram account, he was highlighted stringing together ring muscle-ups. At 60-plus years old, it's absolutely incredible. Fitness runs in his family. His daughter, Heather, most notably, she went to the Games on CrossFit Invictus's team. They won the whole thing in 2014, and she was a part of that. So good genes.
Yeah, definitely some good genes. But that does it for us today. Remember, guys, Masters Online Qualifier starts April 20th and runs through the 24th. For Pat Sherwood, I'm Tommy Marquez. We'll see you guys next time when we cover Masters Women 50 to 60 plus divisions.